It was exactly 1 year ago that on June 22nd, 2007, at 8 p.m. on the Sci-Fi Channel, that the final episode of Stargate SG-1, entitled Unending, aired. In that moment, we witnessed the end of an era. We all remember where we were. We were on our couches or in our beds, but we were all one place together, right in front of the screen. As each frame flew by, we knew that this was history. It was a moment when time stood still and everything seemed to gravitate around SG-1. We sat through 50 years with them, and we sang the lyrics to Have You Ever Seen the Rain, all in anticipation of one moment. It was a moment that we dreaded, that we waited anxiously for. When SG-1 embarked up the ramp into the event horizon for one last time on television. When they disappeared into the event horizon, our eyes were so teary we could barely see them. But what kept us going was the promise of the movies. Though we didn't know it at the time, Arc of Truth and Continuum would be our saviors, as would each other. It's amazing how we can find comfort in each other so easily. And that's what makes this show. It's the fans, it's us, and our love of the show that kept it going. When we're old and gray, and we have our grandkids sitting there telling them stories of Jack O'Neill and Daniel Jackson going through the gate with their team of intrepid explorers fighting justice. And they'll ask, Grandma, why do you still talk about this? Why do you tell us these stories? This show isn't on anymore. And you can say, for a long time, this show was part of my life. It was who I was. And that is what is so remarkable about us fans. This is part of who we are. We cannot escape our love for this show. Everywhere we go, we see references and small little jokes that remind us of SG-1. It's something that we can't escape, no matter how long we've been fans. Whether you've been watching from the first episode or you just got here in season 10, it is something that we have a passion for. And that passion played out when the credits rolled on Unending, and we just released our tears if we hadn't already. And we sat there in shock that how could this be over? And some of us got on the internet, while others called NBC and chewed on whoever's ear who would listen. But in the end, it was our campaigns and MGM that saved the show. We got our movies, and that is what's so remarkable about it. We have this drive that we cannot let the show die. We have to have more, and we will not settle for anything less. And out of that was born Arc of Truth. And coming out in July or August, wherever you are, is Continuum. And we've brought back our show in its full, big budget glory. And we are part of this show. Now, we're not part of the crew, and we're not the producers or the writers or the actors. We're not the shining centerpiece on the center of the table that people see on screen. But what people don't see when they watch the show is the thousands and thousands of fans that support it. We are the legs of the table beneath that centerpiece. SG-1 would not be here without us, and I think that is something that we can be extremely proud of. And because of that, no matter what happens, SG-1 will always live on. Because we stockpile our DVDs, and we have that love in our hearts. And I think it will always have a special place in our lives, even if we go on to do great many things, and we become these great people, or continue our lives and our careers, and stray away from the show. We will always have Stargate, and it will always be a part of us, no matter where we go or who we meet. And that is why the title of the last episode was so fitting. Unending. Such a simple word, yet it holds such weight. SG-1 will never die because we as fans will pass this down to the generations to come through our DVDs and our stories. When DVD players are long gone, we'll still be clutching those little discs, saying, "Still here. Still here." And it is that passion of the fans that is so remarkable about this show. That it has this base around it that is completely impenetrable. Nothing can separate us from our show. Because of that, I ask you to share your memories and your feelings and your thoughts and what you were doing that night when Unending aired. And I hope that we can remember this day now, a year later, with happy memories instead of tears. That we can look back on it and say, that was something that we were part of. That is something that will never change. We will always have that. We will always have SG-1.